Revealed, how a single dad CEO's nanny discovered an incredible solution in just 30 seconds. Ryan's heart raced as he stood backstage, peering through the thick curtains of the school auditorium. The sounds of children laughing and the gentle murmur of parents' conversations filled the air. Today was Mia's school play, and he had promised to be there, but another last-minute meeting had kept him tied up. Guilt clawed at his insides. Would she look for him? He could almost see her bright smile and big, hopeful eyes waiting for him. The play commenced, and its vibrancy only deepened his shame. How could he be so neglectful as a dad? Time raced by, leaving Ryan alone with his muddied thoughts of deadlines and lofty dreams for his startup. He built something remarkable from the ground up, yet here he was missing precious moments with his daughter. As the spotlight shone on Mia, he wished he could rewind time and trade success for meaningful dinner conversations that shared laughter, joy, and love. How could he drown out the guilt that bore down like a heavy fog? Then came Jamie, the nanny who changed everything. Bursting with energy and an infectious optimism drawn from the simple joys of her rural town, she brought a wave of light into their home. Mia adored her, and Ryan couldn't help but thank his lucky stars. But beneath that bubbly exterior lay a woman doubting her place in their polished suburban lives. Would Jamie ever feel she belonged here? Or was she merely a step in Ryan's journey, chiming in as a temporary answer to his overwhelming schedule? As days turned into weeks, Ryan found himself buried under more corporate burdens. He felt edgy, short-tempered, snapping at Jamie over tasks that felt trivial in his mind. Each lash was a paradox, inflicting hurt on someone who brought kindness to their chaotic home. Jamie would just smile, but Ryan noticed her growing distance. They were in the same house but worlds apart, a triangle of stress, uncertainty, and dreams barely fulfilled. Then came the financial crisis, like a thunderstorm on the horizon. Panic-descended customers were pulling out, funds slipped away, and the weight of it all sank into Ryan's chest. He could feel the storm brewing. Just when everything seemed set to topple, Jamie and Mia were playing in the living room. As they tossed colorful blocks, a playful idea sparked in Jamie's mind. She shared it with the two, and it was more than just a game, it was a revelation. A simple idea that could revolutionize Ryan's company sparked in 30 seconds, the glimmer of hope cutting through Ryan's despair. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Excitement whirled in the kitchen like a whirlwind, and for the first time in weeks, Ryan felt the stirrings of hope. Yet, as the realization of Jamie's brilliant insight began to settle in, an unshakable worry crept in. Could he embrace the grit and wisdom of someone from a vastly different background than his own? And what would happen if their paths intertwined more than they already had? Right now, joy painted the air, but uncertainty lurked just beneath the surface, ready to challenge them all. As they stood on the edge of possibility, a fragile bond, a nascent collaboration, Ryan couldn't help but wonder if he could bridge a connection in their lives, or if they were forever destined to remain parallel lines. Would he open his heart to Jamie's brilliance? Would she find a true home in their lives? The questions hung heavy in the air, the future breathlessly uncertain. The kitchen buzzed with renewed energy. Ryan watched as Jamie's eyes sparkled with excitement. Mia clapped her hands, showing her young enthusiasm for the sudden joy infusing their small world. Ryan felt the warmth that had been missing for weeks, blooming in his chest. It was intoxicating, but the dread nagged at him like an uninvited thought at the back of his mind. Okay, so tell me more about your idea, Ryan urged, trying to latch onto that spark of inspiration. Jamie took a deep breath, her fingers nervously twisting the edge of her whirling apron. What if we transform the blocks game into a platform that teaches kids teamwork through play? I've seen how fast Mia adapts, and she picks up concepts so quickly. It could be something big. And fun. Her passion was infectious, lighting up the room in ways he hadn't seen in ages. Ryan felt a flicker of excitement build, but with it came the weight of worry. Could it really work? The thought of his colleagues not taking Jamie seriously was suffocating. Would this idea, born from chaos in a living room, be laughed at in board meetings filled with suits and polished shoes? Let us say it works, he started cautiously. It would require investment, marketing, tweaking. What do you know about that side of things? At his question, Jamie's enthusiasm dimmed momentarily. I don't know too much. But I could try to learn. If we want this to happen, I'm willing to put in the work. Ryan saw the determination in her eyes. It matched the passion he once had when he first started his company. The memory was bittersweet, reminding him of nights spent dreaming, building something out of nothing. Had he lost that spark along the way? He glanced at Mia, blissfully unaware of the weight of their conversation. She was stacking crayons in different colors, weaving them together into a make-believe building, making her own version of a home filled with love and laughter. That innocent joy struck a chord deep inside Ryan that sent shivers down his spine. In that instant, he realized what mattered most. Okay. Let us explore this, he finally said, the decision escaping his lips before uncertainty could grip him again. I need to research, see how we can develop this. Will you help me, Jamie? Her face brightened, and the warmth that had faded between them reignited. Of course. We can work on this together, make lists, plan. With each word, their plan formed like the stack of crayons Mia had built, colors harmonizing rather than clashing. It felt good, and Ryan found hope growing again. But just as optimism surged, the doubts crept back. What if the world outside their bubble couldn't see the beauty of Jamie's idea? What if they failed? What if this brought him closer to Jamie in ways he wasn't prepared for? Could she ever belong, fully, in his upper crust reality? But those thoughts could wait. For now, the vision stretched out before them, a landscape filled with possibility and light. They began brainstorming excitedly, voices overlapping in a flurry of ideas. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. A knot twisted in Ryan's stomach. Who could it be? Before he could move, Mia dashed toward the door, her excitement palpable. As she flung it open, Ryan's heart sank. The faces on the other side were familiar yet unexpected, his investors, standing together, eyes sharp and assessing. With them, the ground felt less steady. Mia, sweetheart, go play with Jamie in the living room, he said, his voice a mix of urgency and unease. As she bounced away, Ryan took a deep breath, ready to face whatever storm was lurking just outside their sanctuary. What could this mean for them? Would they see Jamie as just a nanny or as part of something greater, a team built on shared dreams? And then it hit him. The urgency of the moment wrapped around him like a vice, their fragile dream hung in the balance. Could he pull this off, or had he just opened a door he wasn't ready to walk through? The answers waited just beyond the threshold. Ryan's stomach twisted tighter as he faced his investors. They looked just as he remembered, crisp button-downs, too cool for school expressions, eyes ever vigilant for half-baked ideas masquerading as gold. Ryan, one of them, Mark, spoke first. His voice had a disapproving edge, like he already suspected everything he needed to know. We received your last pitch for the new app concept. Let us talk about your direction. Of course, Ryan replied, forcing enthusiasm into his voice despite the pit in his stomach. They stepped inside, the chill of their presence overshadowing the warmth bubbling in the kitchen moments earlier. In contrast to the lively atmosphere infused by Jamie and Mia, the air suddenly felt thick with expectation. He could see Jamie stealing quick glances from the corner of his vision, contemplating the sudden shift. The last thing he wanted was for this moment to squash her spirit. Interesting that we find you here, home. Mark's eyes narrowed slightly, clearly assessing everything from the scattered crayons to Jamie, who stood by the counter with an apron still tied around her waist. Yeah, just a little brainstorming session with my team, Ryan replied, trying to sound relaxed. You know we're working on an interactive game concept. Mark's brow lifted, a flicker of interest breaking through his otherwise stoic demeanor. Is that right? We thought you'd focus on something more traditional like the app trial. How close are you to a prototype? Getting there, Ryan said quickly. It's just Ryan, Mark interrupted, his tone solidifying. Let us cut to the chase. Your last presentation lacked depth. If you want serious investors, I'm afraid a brainstorming session is not going to cut it. There it was, the familiar tightening of pressure as the reality of the corporate world gnawed at Ryan's dreams and ambitions. The shadows of doubt marched back into his mind. Would they laugh at Jamie's idea? Would they disregard her potential just because she wasn't wearing a suit? But we have new concepts, Ryan insisted. This could teach kids essential skills while they play, encourage teamwork. I listen, another investor, Claire, chimed in, her voice smooth but firm. We need concrete results, not wishful thinking. Bring us something tangible. Until then, our support remains at risk. Ryan's heart sank. They weren't just dismissing an idea, they were threatening the very foundation of what he had built. He felt Jamie's gaze heavy on him, filled with unspoken questions. He could almost read the words on her lips, are they judging me? He turned, locking eyes with her across the kitchen. The warmth he felt earlier flickered hesitantly as apprehension reached for him. How could he include her in this discussion? How could he defend her dream with their doubts looming over them? Mia, sweetie, why don't you show Jamie your new drawing? Ryan said, hoping to deflect the investor's attention away from Jamie. But Mia stood frozen, eyes bouncing from Ryan to Jamie. I want to stay with you, Daddy. She clutched her beloved crayon building, Ryan's heart twisted. Honey, it's just I need to talk business for a moment. Just a moment. You'll be okay with Jamie, right? But Mia's voice wavered, making his decision slowly felt impossible, a weight he couldn't shake. Finally, Jamie stepped forward, her warmth and strength rising to the occasion. It's all right, Mia, she said softly, kneeling to meet the child's eyes. Let us get your drawing out. I'd love to see it. Mia's face lit up, and Ryan felt a surge of hope. Maybe Jamie could indeed contribute something to the conversation, maybe they could all come together in a way he hadn't envisioned. With Mia happy to run back to the drawing board, Ryan turned back to the investors. I know I can make this work. Give me a little more time. I have someone with a vision to help shape our direction. Just then, as Ryan felt a glimmer of confidence, the doorbell rang again. A new pressing worry surged through him. Would it be someone to support their dream, or another challenge waiting to tear it down? Let us see who. That is, Ryan said, an abrupt break in his earlier conviction as he braced himself for the unknown. And in that moment, the storm outside his sanctuary felt like it was crashing even closer. What awaited them just beyond the door? Ryan hesitated at the door, the tension coiling around him like a thick fog. The doorbell chimed again, its sound slicing through the gathering storm in his mind. He glanced back at Jamie and Mia, who had busily entangled themselves in artistic chaos, crayon colors scattered like confetti across the kitchen table. Stay here, he whispered, more to reassure himself than anyone else. He steadied his breath and opened the door just a crack, peering into the blustery evening outside. The moment he swung it wide, he was met with an unexpected sight. A woman stood there, her damp auburn hair clinging to her forehead, but her eyes sparkled with something rare enthusiasm. Leslie, the babysitter, stood on their porch, holding a paper envelope, vibrant with markings that screamed excitement. Ryan! She exclaimed, stepping over the threshold without waiting for an invitation. I know you're busy, but you'll want to see this. What's this about? Ryan managed to ask, his heart racing with urgency. The storm outside mirrored the tempest in his mind, but something about Leslie's energy was infectious. Just look. She said, practically shoving the envelope into his hands. Ryan's fingers brushed against the slick surface as he pulled out a series of sketches. His breath hitched as he leafed through them. Ideas for a kid-friendly, educational game surfaced on the paper: vibrant characters, engaging activities that made learning feel like play. Each page ignited a spark that felt too long extinguished. "Where did you?" "I was brainstorming with Mia while you were with the investors. I thought, why not make creativity a part of the game? Kids love drawing, and they learn so much through it." Ryan couldn't believe his eyes. The elements were all there: inclusivity, teamwork, creativity. It was as if Leslie had taken the best parts of Jamie's vision and exploded them onto the pages. Each sketch resonated deeply, distinctive yet familiar. "I can't believe this," he murmured, powerless against the tsunami of possibilities crashing over him. Leslie grinned, sensing the shift. "I know it's a rough draft. But we could build on it, Ryan. We could have the kids submit their own designs, vote on their favorites. It could be interactive. Like a creative democracy." As the weight of despair began to lift from Ryan's shoulders, he felt warmth pooling in his chest. He had been so bogged down, so intimidated by the investors' skepticism, that he nearly forgot the very reason he got into this business: to inspire, to create something meaningful for kids. Leslie's passion was contagious, a breath of fresh air that he desperately needed. "Where's Mia?" Ryan asked, scanning the room to find his daughter. "Right here." Mia called out, beaming with crayon marks smeared on her cheeks. She lifted a piece of paper, showcasing a colorful monster she had drawn. "Look, Daddy. This is my idea." Ryan knelt, taking in Mia's vibrant creation. The essence of it echoed Leslie's sketches: a collaborative spirit bound together by imagination. "Sweetheart, this is incredible. What if we include your monster in the game?" Mia's eyes lit up like fireworks. "Really? I love that idea." The renewed excitement pulsing through the room felt like a lifeline. Ryan glanced back at Leslie, their eyes locking with unspoken support. "Now, about those investors," Ryan said, a smile creeping across his face as he felt the spark of determination flickering to life. "What if we give them something more? Something they can't dismiss?" As the thunder rumbled outside, the storm seemed to fade. They were building a bridge from imagination to reality, and this time, they were ready to cross it together, but just as they began to brainstorm their plan, the door creaked open once more, revealing a familiar face. Mark stood there, eyebrows raised. "I thought you could use a few more minutes to prepare now." They had a decision to make. Would they share their newfound ideas, or hold back in fear? The weight of their dreams rested heavily on their shoulders, and Ryan felt the gravity of the moment. Was this their chance to change everything, or would it slip through their fingers again? "Let us see how this goes," Ryan murmured, with hope wrestling uncertainty in his heart. Would they be able to turn the tide? Mark stepped into the room, casting a wary glance at the scattered drawings and the palpable buzz of creativity that crackled in the air. He wasn't alone in anticipating the meeting. The stakes were higher than ever, and Ryan could feel that weight pressing down. "What's all this?" Mark asked, his tone oscillating between curiosity and skepticism as he eyed Mia's artwork and the sketches held tightly in Ryan's hand. "Leslie just brought in some incredible ideas for the game," Ryan started, only to be cut off. "Look, I get it. You're excited, and that's good. But we can't just go in there with dreams and crayon drawings," Mark replied, arms crossed. There was a tension there, a subtle challenge that hung between them. "For once, can't we just try? This could change everything." Ryan snapped slightly, feeling a surge of frustration. He felt the children's enthusiasm radiating from the table and knew that it was worth fighting for. Mark's expression softened, but he remained firm. "I'm all for creativity, but we need a plan. We can't show up without anything firm. They're going to want numbers, projections, a strategy. They won't care about what Mia drew." The flicker of doubt returned, threatening to extinguish the flame of hope that Leslie and Mia had ignited. Ryan's heart sank just a little, but in that moment, he also felt something shift within him. I don't want to lose sight of what this is about, Mark. It's easy to focus on what the investors want, but we need to focus on what matters most, the kids. We're creating something from their imagination, not just for profit. There has to be a balance, Mark replied quietly, though the tension between them was still palpable. Leslie chimed in, breaking the awkwardness that had taken hold. You're right, Ryan. We can find a way to combine both. The game can encapsulate what matters, the creativity, the fun, but also have the elements that the investors are looking for. Mia nodded enthusiastically, her little fists clenched with excitement. Yeah. And I can help with more drawings. I want to make the best monster ever. Ryan's heart swelled at the sight of his daughter so engaged. Each sketch she created was a beacon of hope. All right, he said, his voice steadier now. Let us focus on creating a cohesive vision. We'll take what Leslie came up with and build a pitch. Something that illustrates the fun, the educational aspects, and, yes, the potential for profits. But we'll frame it around the kids and their ideas. The tension in the room began to disperse like clouds parting for the sun. As Ryan looked around at the eager faces, he felt renewed determination. This project didn't just belong to him anymore, it was a tapestry woven from the imaginations of Jamie, Mia, Leslie, and even Mark. They started to voice ideas, brainstorming themes and potential gameplay mechanics that embraced both creativity and education. Laughter mixed with enthusiastic chatter filled the kitchen, and it felt electric. Suddenly, the doorbell chimed again, that familiar sound cutting through their moment of exhilaration, tinged with slight nerves creeping back in. Ryan exchanged glances with Leslie, Mia, and Mark. Who could that be? Mark asked, taking a step toward the door, but Ryan raised a hand. Wait. Let me. He wanted to center himself before confronting whatever awaited them on the other side. Was this another potential challenge? Or could it be the breakthrough they didn't even know they needed? When he opened the door, a messenger stood there, clipboard in hand, eyes serious. Ryan's heart raced. What is it? Delivery for you, sir. It's about your pitch. And as he took the papers from the messenger, Ryan felt a gut punch of anticipation. What did it say? Would this document bring them closer to their dreams or shatter the fragile hope they built? Let us find out, he murmured, feeling every pulse of uncertainty crashing against the strength of the moment. What was inside could change everything. Ryan held the papers tightly, feeling the weight of them like a stone in his chest. He glanced back at the room full of hope, Mia bouncing on her toes, Leslie flipping her hair nervously, and Mark with an eyebrow arched, waiting for him to share whatever news lay within. All right, here goes nothing, he said, his voice barely more than a whisper as he unfolded the crisp pages. He scanned the first lines, his heart pounding, feeling each beat thud against the silence of the room. Ryan? Leslie encouraged gently, stepping closer to him. He could feel her anticipation radiating, mingling with the tension that filled the space around them. It says, he hesitated, catching his breath. Then he read aloud, trying to keep the tremor out of his voice. They love the concept. They think it has real potential, especially the educational aspect. Mia squealed, bouncing excitedly, yes. I knew they would. Mark exhaled in relief, his shoulders relaxing just a tad. What about the numbers? He pressed, his usual pragmatism creeping back in. Ryan's eyes darted down the page. They want us to present a business plan but are open to discussing our creative vision. They want to hear about the kids' sketches, and our ideas too. Hope surged through him. He understood the challenge ahead, but this was a glimmer, a chance to inspire more than spreadsheets. It was about passion. Leslie nodded, that's great. We have something to work with now. Her eyes sparkled with optimism, but Ryan's gaze drifted back to Mark, who still seemed held back, the skepticism still clinging to him. What's the catch? he asked, crossing his arms again. Ryan hesitated, the question hanging heavy in the air. There was always a catch when it came to investors. They want a follow-up meeting by the end of the week. We need the full pitch ready. Mark sighed, his arms dropping to his sides in defeat. That gives us no time. I know, Ryan replied, the reality of the situation washing over him. But we've been preparing for this. We have ideas, sketches, and a vision. If we come together as a team, we can do this. Leslie shot a look of encouragement at Mark. This is our moment to shine. The kids believe in us, and we have to believe in ourselves. Mia chimed in again, and I can help. I'll draw even more monsters. The best ones. Her enthusiasm was infectious, and slowly, Ryan could see Mark softening. Okay, he finally said, let us do this. We'll need to organize everything tonight. No more hesitating. They all moved closer, gathering around the kitchen table, ready to dive back into the vibrant world they were creating. Ideas flowed like a river, laughter mixing with the gravity of the task ahead. Yet, even as the excitement rippled through the air, Ryan couldn't shake an unsettling feeling creeping at the back of his mind. Something felt too good, too easy. As he jotted down notes and plans, his phone buzzed furiously on the table, breaking his focus. He glanced at it. An unknown number. Could it be another complication or, perhaps, a blessing? He hesitated, the anticipation building, a sudden realization dawning on him. What if this call was the twist they hadn't seen coming? Who is it? Leslie asked, her bright eyes glancing at him. I don't know. Should I answer? Mia's excitement ebbed into a shared silence as they all awaited his decision. What lay on the other end of that call could either make or break everything. Go for it, Mark nudged, his voice steady but with a hint of trepidation. Answer it. We're in this together. With a deep breath, Ryan picked up the phone, heart pounding once more. What awaited him on the other end? Hello. He began, the world around him fading, all eyes on him, the weight of the moment echoing in the room. Hello. He repeated, the word almost escaping his lips like a prayer. Ryan. A voice crackled through the phone, deep and confident. It was someone he didn't recognize, but the authoritative tone commanded his full attention. Yes, this is Ryan, he replied, trying to keep his voice steady. John Mitchell here, from Bright Future Investments. I was calling regarding your proposal. We received your application and well, there is something you need to know. The room fell silent, his friends leaning closer, eyes wide with curiosity and concern. Ryan felt a chill slide down his spine. This was it. The moment he had been waiting for. What do you mean? He managed to ask, his throat suddenly dry. Your concept has sparked interest at the highest level. We see great potential, but there's a caveat. We need to fast-track everything. We have other investors looking to jump in. They want to see a refined pitch tonight, John said, each word punctuated by the gravity of urgency. Tonight? Ryan's heart sank. They had planned to present at the end of the week. This wasn't just a tight deadline. This was an impossible one. Yes, and it needs to present a clear business model. You'll need specifics, John continued. If you can present a solid pitch this evening, I might be able to put you in front of potential partners. Ryan felt a burn of frustration rise in him. How could they pull together a polished presentation in a few hours? Mark's earlier skepticism loomed over him again, threatening to suffocate the flicker of hope they had just ignited. Can you do this? John asked, breaking Ryan's spiral of doubt. I believe in your vision, but it's time to prove it. Ryan took a deep breath, glancing at his friends, who were absorbed in their own anxiety, but he could also see determination in their eyes. We'll make it happen, he said, surprising even himself with the steadiness of his voice. Good. I'll await your call. The line went dead, and Ryan dropped the phone onto the table, heart racing. What did he say? Leslie asked, her voice edged with both hope and fear. It's a tighter time frame. We have to present tonight. Mia's face fell. But we have so many ideas. Mark stood up, pacing. This isn't enough time, Ryan. We'll just rush through it, and if we fail, what if we don't? Ryan interrupted, feeling the fire ignite within him. What if pressure is what we need to focus? We have what it takes. This isn't just about showing sketches, it's about showing who we are, what we believe. Leslie moved to grab Ryan's shoulders, her eyes locked onto his. We can do this. We've dreamed of this for too long to back down now. We just have to organize fast. Ryan nodded, gathering himself. Okay, Mia, can you focus all day on those monster sketches? We can build a story around them, tie everything together. Yeah. I can draw a whole story. Mia exclaimed, her eyes lighting up as ideas poured back in. And Mark, we need your expertise on the business side. You know the numbers, Ryan urged. We can create a vibrant visual presentation around those figures. Mark still had hesitation in his eyes, but Ryan could see that uneasy look shift into something like determination. Alright, let us make a game plan, fast. We have to be incredible outstanding. They want to see us. The team sprang into action. Ideas flew, people talking over each other excitedly. Laughter mixed with tension as they crafted a whirlwind of creativity amidst emotions bouncing off the walls. But Ryan's heart still raced for another reason as the seconds clicked away. Was it even possible to turn their dreams into a reality in such a limited time? He scanned their chaotic energy, wondering how many chances like this would come again. Could they pull it off, or were they destined to fall short? As ideas continued to flow, Ryan's phone buzzed again. Stilling the excitement around him, he reached for it, praying it was the confirmation he hoped for. But as he looked down, dread knotted in his stomach. It was another unknown number. What now? Should I take it? He asked hesitantly, the weight of their already strained hopes fluttering in the space between them. This could be a lifeline or the final nail in their coffin. Would he take the risk? Everyone leaned in closer, waiting for his choice. Would Ryan dare to make a move that could change everything? Ryan stared at the screen, uncertainty pooling in his stomach. The unknown had always felt like a daunting void. He glanced up at his friends, their faces a mix of worry and hope, urging him silently to take the plunge. Just answer it, Ryan, Mark said, his voice a mix of expectant urgency and concern. Taking a deep breath, Ryan tapped the screen. Hello. Ryan. It's Jennifer, from the marketing workshop. I hope I'm not calling at a bad time. Her voice was bright and warm. Not at all, Jen. What is going on? There was a slight pause on the line, as if she was choosing her words carefully. I heard through the grapevine that you are pitching tonight. I thought it was worth reaching out, since I'm filled with ideas about marketing strategies. Maybe I can help. His heart raced again, but this time for a different reason. We're very tight on time, Jen. Like hours tight. Exactly. I thrive under pressure. She replied, and Ryan couldn't help but smile a little. I'd love to contribute something meaningful. Just hear me out. Without waiting for him to respond, Jennifer dove into a flurry of ideas. The way she spoke made the possibilities feel tangible. She suggested unique angles on how to communicate their vision effectively, reframing their offerings in ways Ryan hadn't considered. It was fresh and energetic, shaking the cobwebs off their very traditional approach. As he listened, excitement bubbled inside him. Thoughts of their pitch morphed from frantic scrambling to cohesive storytelling, infused with colors, characters, and vibrant energy. Maybe Jennifer could light the spark they needed. Let us bring you on board, Ryan finally said, feeling newfound confidence. Can you be here in an hour? I'm on my way. She chirped before hanging up. I can't believe you did that. Leslie exclaimed, disbelief trailing her words. She's brilliant. This could be exactly what we need. Ryan felt the atmosphere shift. The chaotic energy in the room grew more focused. Ideas crisscrossed and intermingled. Mia's sketches would be strengthened with clever marketing language. Mark's numbers would become more compelling with Jennifer's insights to back them up. Ryan's fingers flew over his laptop as he drafted an outline, articulating their vision with weight and purpose. A new rhythm pulsed through the room, fueling their momentum. They broke into teams, brainstorming ideas to maximize each breathless minute. Time felt elastic, stretching with their determination, yet, as the clock continued to tick, doubt still lingered at the edges of Ryan's mind. Even with their newfound team member, could they truly meet the expectations laid upon them? What if their efforts still fell short? Guys, he said, pausing them for a moment, I know the stakes are high. We could really change our lives with this, but what if it doesn't work out? Mark chimed in, voice serious. Then we will learn. But we can't afford to think like that right now. Remember, this is our one shot. We've come too far. Let us own it. Leslie nodded emphatically. No more hesitation. We're taking control. The energy surged again, but Ryan felt the weight of his emotions. Could he handle the possibility of both success and failure? Could the dreams they nourished unravel so quickly? He watched them throw themselves into their work, letting their passion spill out like paint on a canvas. Each stroke held promise. Every idea danced with potential. The vision was becoming clearer, and then it hit him a realization. Guys, he started, what if we use our journey as the foundation of this pitch? What do you mean? Mia tilted her head, intrigued. What if we share why we started, the challenges we faced, and how we want to change things for others who dream like us? Ryan's heart raced with excitement now. Real people, real stories. We become relatable, not just another company looking for funding. As they chewed on his idea, a buzz of energy coursed through the room again. Final strokes of creativity mingled with this new direction, and the chaos morphed into a focused whirlwind. But as they plunged into this new wave of inspiration, Ryan's phone buzzed again. It was the same unknown number. What now? He muttered, feeling the weight of urgency in the air once more. Could another call truly give them more than what they had already started building? What unknown awaited him on the other end? Would this be the moment of clarity or the tipping point? The decision loomed, and he couldn't let go of the feeling that everything was about to change yet again. Would he dare to face it? Ryan's heart raced as he stared at the number on his screen. He was caught between the thrill of the moment and the weight of what it might mean. Taking a deep breath, he pressed the answer button. Hello? Ryan? It's Danny. The voice on the other end sounded urgent, a far cry from the friendly banter they usually shared. I need you to listen carefully. What is going on? Ryan felt the air shift around him. I just got off the phone with Mark's contacts. There's something you should know. There's a major investor interested in the pitch tonight. But they're keen on personal stories. They want emotion as much as the numbers. The room fell silent as Ryan processed the words. The high stakes of their endeavor suddenly loomed larger. He glanced at his friends, who remained engrossed in their tasks, unaware of the critical shift happening. Why is this important? Ryan asked, struggling to keep his voice steady. They're facing a tough choice between you and a more established contender. Just numbers won't cut it. They want to connect real life, real experiences. They want to feel something. With a pulse of determination, Ryan felt the spark of inspiration from earlier reignite. We just had that conversation. We'll focus on our journey and what we're creating. That's it. But you need to make it impactful. Get them to see your passion. Thanks, Danny, Ryan said, feeling a rush of adrenaline kick in. I won't let you down. He clicked off the call and turned to his friends, who were still absorbed in their work. Guys, we need to go deeper with our story. It's not just about what we're presenting, it's who we are, what we stand for. Mia looked up, eyebrows raised. What do you mean? Ryan took a step closer to the table, feeling electric. We can show our struggles, our dreams, why this matters to us. Make it personal. That's what connects with people. Leslie's eyes widened in excitement. We've got our own stories. We should each take a part of our journey and weave them together. It'll show them the heart. Mark put down his laptop, caught up in the energy. I can pull up the metrics to show how real people respond to emotional pitches. Numbers support stories, right? The room buzzed with renewed enthusiasm as each of them began to formulate their narratives. Ryan felt like a conductor leading an orchestra, each section harmonizing into something beautiful. Mia began sketching images of their struggles splashed across a canvas. Leslie expressed her story of overcoming doubt and fear. Mark gathered the data that would echo their passion in tangible facts. It merged and blended into one vibrant vision. As time slipped away, Ryan felt both exhilarated and terrified. They were laying everything bare, ready to share not just a product, but a piece of themselves. It was bold. It was raw. Then, just as they were about to finalize their presentation, Ryan's phone buzzed once again. Heart thumping, he glanced at the screen, a wave of unease washing over him. It's the unknown number again, he said, tone tense with anticipation. Answer it. Leslie urged, eyes wide. Here goes nothing, Ryan replied, tapping the screen. Greetings. Is this Ryan Parker? A voice inquired, smooth and authoritative. Yes, congratulations. You've piqued our interest. But we have a few conditions that need answering first. Are you ready to hear them? Ryan exchanged glances with his friends. Their wide-eyed expressions echoed the uncertainty swirling in his chest. Conditions? What could that mean? The moment stretched out, thick with tension. Would this be the moment they had all been waiting for, or a hurdle they hadn't anticipated? Would he have what it takes to respond? He steadied his breathing, determined to face whatever came next. Yes, I'm ready. But inside, he felt the undercurrent of dread about what would soon unfold. What were these conditions, and how would they change everything they had worked for? Ryan stood on the edge of everything he'd ever wanted, the stakes higher than ever. His heart raced as he braced himself for the unknown response, eyes darting between Leslie, Mia, and Mark. They were invested now. This was more than a pitch, it was personal. It was family. First condition, the voice from the phone said, smooth yet commanding. We expect you to present a truly compelling story, one that resonates with values over revenue. Of course, Ryan's voice wavered slightly but steadied as he spoke. That's exactly what we plan to do. Second, the voice continued, you must be able to convey your vision in a way that demonstrates its potential in educational impact. Remember, this is about the future. Ryan nodded, even though there was no one to see it. I understand. We're ready for that. And finally, the voice paused, letting the tension hang. You must show us that you're a cohesive team that embodies the spirit of collaboration. We need to see that you believe in what you're creating together. Can you do that? Yes, we can. Ryan exclaimed, emboldened by the doubt that had been a constant shadow. He hung up and shared the news with the group. They want our story. They want to see us collaborate, laugh, and create something meaningful together. Mia's face lit up. Can I be part of the story too? I want to show them my drawings. Absolutely. Ryan smiled wide, feeling the warmth spread through him. This is our moment. All of us together. As they reshaped their pitch, everything began to fall into place. Mia's drawings became a vivid backdrop illustrating their narrative, her vibrant colors reflecting creativity and spirit. Leslie's real-life story of overcoming doubt melded seamlessly into Ryan's journey, punctuated by a heartwarming sense of resilience. Mark pulled together the numbers, transforming data into a compelling argument of how their vision could not only impact children but revolutionize educational gaming. Time raced by, the clock ticking down as they pulled everything together into a final presentation that felt a live pulse beating with hope and tenacity. With each minute that passed, Ryan felt something shifting inside him. The fears that had gripped him earlier receded into the background, replaced by a steady realization: they were not alone in this, they had become a team, a family of creators working toward a shared dream. The time has finally come, Ryan said, looking at the faces of those gathered around him, their eyes sparkling with determination. Let us show them who we are. As they entered the meeting room, their energy crackled in the air. The investors sat waiting, their expressions a blend of interest and skepticism. Ryan's heart thudded against his chest, but he remembered the strength and courage he had felt with his one deep breath, and he started the presentation. The visuals unfolded like a storybook, Mia's drawings flanking the data that told the tale of their journey, the struggles, the laughter, the moments of triumph. As Ryan spoke, he let his passion pour out, gesturing animatedly. This is not just about creating an educational game, it's about igniting creativity in children, nurturing teamwork, and allowing them to express themselves fully. The room was in rapt attention. He could see Mark flipping returns on paper, nodding in agreement. Leslie chimed in with her part, echoing the emotion that brought tears to the investors' eyes. And Mia stood beside them, proudly sharing her monstrous drawings, explaining her vision for how they could inspire children everywhere. In that moment, they were not just a business, they were a family. They were real people presenting a real vision that mattered deeply. As they concluded, the room erupted into applause. "This is brilliant," Mark said, still taking notes. "You managed to convey heart and numbers seamlessly." Ryan glanced at the investors, their expressions appeared hopeful, entranced even. "This is what we believe in," he concluded, a smile breaking across his face, the thrill of accomplishment washing over him. "This is just the beginning." After the negotiations, the day ended with smiles, laughter, and plans for collaboration. They all stood together, Ryan, Leslie, Mia, and Mark, feeling like victory was within grasp. Mia blurted out, "We did it, Daddy." Ryan picked her up, twirling her around, tears of joy sparkling in his eyes. "Yes, sweetheart, we really did." Jamie came rushing into the room, having seen the excitement. The light in her eyes flickered with approval as she wrapped her arms around them. Together, they were no longer just a team composed of a single dad, a nanny, and friends. They were a family bonded by hope, love, and a vision that could touch countless lives. They knew their journey was only beginning. And as they celebrated this monumental moment, Ryan glanced at the clock, feeling a wave of gratitude. Life had led him to this incredible place and he wasn't looking back. Together, they could change the world, one colorful idea at a time. Now, you need to be part of this journey. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, it makes a difference, I promise you. Comment your reactions and feelings about this ending, we want to hear from you, and don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. True fans like you understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions. Let's keep building this community together.